大家好，欢迎收看今天的节目。乔伊斯曾经说过一句话：如果我能触及都柏林的核心，那我也将能触及全世界城市的灵魂。在这一期的节目当中，我们将一改往日座谈的形式，带大家漫步伦敦。那么这也将是我们尤里西斯这个主题的最后一章、最后一期节目。在下一个系列的节目当中，我们将为大家引入一位新的爱尔兰作家贝克特的作品以及他的故事。那么就让我们一起收拾一下心情，进入今天的旅程。
Hello, Ellen.
Hi.
Hi.
So today we are going to wandering around the city.
We are.
To experiencing the good weather of London and to see this nice place, Soho.
Yes.
Shall we get started?
We shall get started.
Let's go.
So as we reach the end of our little section on Ulysses, I'm still interested in what you think about the book.
So what do I think about the book? Well, first of all, I think the writer, James Joyce, is a very... How to say that? In Chinese, we have a saying call it a man who is very 愤世嫉俗的. Do you know that phrase, Robert? Let me check that. 愤世嫉俗. How to say that in English? 愤世嫉俗. 愤世嫉俗. 英文. Cynical.
No.
He's not.
No.
I feel like he's a bit 愤世嫉俗.
No, I don't think Joyce is cynical at all. I think he has a very deep disagreement with lots of things that other people thought were important in the world at that time. So he was kind of a free thinker, perhaps, and quite revolutionary, maybe, and radical. Not in a very obvious way. But no, I don't think Joyce. I think that's really shocking to me. I would say I would, in terms of the way the word tends to be used in English, I would say that James Joyce is one of the least cynical people who's ever lived.
Okay, Robert. Well, Robert, I'd like to say one thing.
Yes.
I think only two of us doing that is a disaster. I think I'm doing too many things at the same time.
I think you're doing fine.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm going to get mad a little bit. I'm hearing you, listening to you, and at the same time, watch the camera. At the same time.
The camera?
Yes, please, thank you. We're going to walk to Soho Square. I remember that that place is a very... You told me the history of the Soho Square.
Did I?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know this.
Yeah, you said it's like a lot of, it's quite kind of a place which is full of very, very...
Bad people.
Yeah, bad people.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
It was.
Yeah, it's a lot less like that now. Yeah, this whole area was, interestingly perhaps, was kind of London's night town. So this was a red light district.
Oh, red light.
Yeah, you know that expression?
I think I know.
Yeah. And so in Ulysses, that's night town.
Oh, okay. Here we are now in Soho Square, Robert.
Yes, here we are in Soho Square.
Say something.
About
Soho Square.
Well, Soho Square is a square in the centre of Soho. Very famous little spot. Historically, it was pretty grotty and grimy, and a kind of a centre of London's bad behaviour. But it's not like that now. It's all much kind of cleaner and nicer and more touristy, and it's just people hanging out, having early morning coffee and chats. There's table tennis and...
Okay, I'm going to show our audience what Soho Square looked like.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really beautiful and it is a nice day. Sunny day it is. Very chill, Robert, I think.
Yeah. It's a shame so many people come. The difficult to keep the grass nice. That's the only tricky thing about Soho Square. Because people come in lunchtime, you'll see there'll be people lying around, and so they kind of damage the grass. So that's the only tricky thing about Soho Square. Yeah, should we have a little sit down and a chat about Ulysses?
Yes, let's do that.
Cool.
Anyway, Robert, let's talk about Ulysses.
Well, cheese features in Ulysses, of course. Bloom has a gorgonzola sandwich and a glass of red wine in Davy Byrne's pub in Dublin. That's his lunch. And you can still get in Davy Byrne's pub in Dublin a gorgonzola sandwich and a glass of red wine. I mean, something interesting about Ireland and Joyce is the amount of alcohol consumed. Joyce was a big drinker, a heavy drinker. I was reading something lately that Samuel Beckett wrote towards the end of his life about Joyce's drinking. I think Beckett was no kind of stranger to the drink either, but he says Joyce drank a lot.
Okay.
So I think at the end of his working day he would often drink.
Why people drink? I think drinking sometimes can help people to reduce their sorrow in life.
Yeah. Wound seems to live inside a nation as much as an individual,
Oh, true.
which perhaps is part of what
True.
Joyce is dealing with. He's dealing with Ireland as a country always, of course, Dublin specifically as a city. Yeah, we were talking about your response. So you say that Joyce is somebody who is cynical, and you clarified that meant somebody who disagrees with things. Okay, tell me more.
At this period of time, I'm not going to read it again.
No.
Because I think sometimes it carries too much things of life at the same time with each chapter. I think it's too much.
Too much for you.
Too much for me. Not scared, but just feel really sad about it.
Sad about what?
Sad about well, I think when you read the whole story, you can tell what James Joyce is experiencing in his life for the whole kind of thing. Although it is fiction, it is not a kind of reality. Partly reality, but partly not. It's out of imagination.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but actually, you can know he's a man who is always have something of artistically got his kind of like dream of art, dream of life, dream of the world. But actually the world is not operating, obviously not in the way of his imagination. And then he deeply knows that. And although I don't think it is kind of like fully conscious about him to kind of like on purpose, intentionally write in that way, but when he formed the whole book, it kind of put his kind of, the life, the experience, the sadness and sorrow in the book with all the characters. I don't know if you think the same way, but when I read it, I can feel a kind of like struggling in a way.
My experience of the book has never been that it's dark or sad or pessimistic or cynical. I see it as a book that's ultimately almost shockingly hopeful.
Shockingly
and
hopeful.
Light. Yeah.
Light.
Yeah.
Well, probably I react to that in a bit different way, but I remember the last chapter I've read.
Yeah.
Yes, I will. I do think it is really sad.
Molly's chapter.
Yes.
But it sounds like you're scared of sadness, or do you think sad is somehow a problem?
A problem. A little bit.
Like
probably.
it's
part of life. It is something you should accept all the time.
Well, so you have no choice but to accept.
It's like what? It's like.
And comedies, by the way, Shakespeare's comedies normally have tragedy in them. Like otherwise, what's a story? A story is a problem. A story involves, like some of the comedies, some of the most famous comedies. Let's say, As You Like It. The people in those stories could very easily find themselves in a tragedy.
Yes.
If they didn't escape.
But for example, Midsummer Night Dream,
Yeah.
when you directed us,
Yes.
it's complicated because the part of the whole kind of the story, I act in 2 rows. You give me 2 rows.
Mm-hmm.
One is Helena.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is Snout, the wall.
Uh-huh.
And then you find, although in the story of the girls and boys, girl chasing boy in the forest,
Yeah.
that story is a bit kind of tragic comedy in a way, I think, feel like that.
Yes.
But the other story about Snout and about Bottom, that bit is really funny. It is like just purely kind of like...
Yeah, but it's almost slapstick, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost, I mean, it's using the skills of comedians. I mean, yes, that stuff is genuinely funny. Shakespeare, in the original Globe, is is producing work for everybody. The poorest of the poor, the richest of the rich. I don't think Joyce is aiming
for that.
No.
Joyce doesn't care.
Well, he always said he'd rather have one reader read his books 1,000,000 times than a million readers read it once.
Oh, okay. Very sad. His wife doesn't read it a lot.
Yeah. Well, very funny his wife doesn't read it.
2 or 3 pages.
Yeah,
stopped.
and she thought it was funny and he thought it was funny.
Okay. I think it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
It is.
I mean, I was reading a book recently called Lessons by Ian McEwan that was very much about somebody similar-ish stage of life to me. Well, actually, I mean, the novel covers quite a large period of time, but I think it's probably written for people like me or slightly older, and it makes me think about my life. And inevitably, if you examine something, it won't be all good, or you'll have questions about your conduct or about what things have meant or what they mean. I would have thought that was the point.
Okay, then for me, well, I'm really happy that we got literature in the world. I'm really happy that we were doing this Ulysses episode this is our 15th episode.
Wow.
I think life somehow I make my experiencing things with the book, with the character, with my own life, and happy to have Ulysses as a kind of start and beginning of something. And we'll definitely come back to this book.
Oh.
Someday.
Okay.
Probably I would totally have a different opinion about that. When people, get more mature, and when the age is somehow kind of like become into a different number, then you see things, you express yourself, or you behave, you reflect to the world in a different way.
Sure.
So hopefully we just say one day for another day in probably near future, probably we'll come back to this book and sit here, talk about it again, then we can see what is the difference.
Yes, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.